Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa, Paravadik, Srila Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're also giving our most humble obeisance, our gratitude and Dandavat Pranam to Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who has given us this translation and commentary of Bhagavatam. And by the instruction of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who said, if we cannot understand Srimati Radharani within the 18,000 verses of Bhagavatam, then our study has been for waste. We are also praying humbly to Srimati Radharani. Yadhi seva vanchitasya ma yasya kripaya vayam labema sarvam prapnuma prayojanam damni Shri Bhagavat pade Krishna sambandhi sarvam cha yadi na jani mahe tutam astadashasu sahasreshu shlokanam Bhagavat oktishu radharanim na vindamam tada Nishphalam Bhagavat Adhyayanam Radhikaya Kripam Vina Vyartasyat Sarva Parishrama. If we are cheated out of serving that personality whose mercy awards us everything we need, including residence in the Lord's holy Dham and all things connected to Krishna, and if we cannot understand or discover Radharani within the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, then our study of Bhagavatam has been pointless. Without the mercy of Srimati Radharani, all our efforts are in vain. So we are continuing from text 4, Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order, chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Śiva, text 75. Shreyasam iha sarvesham jnanam Nishreyasam param shukam tarati dushparam jnananor vyasanarnavam. In this material world, there are different types of achievement, but of all of them, the achievement of knowledge is considered to be the highest because one can cross the ocean of nescience only on the boat of knowledge. Otherwise, the ocean is impassable. Purport. Actually, everyone is suffering within this material world due to ignorance. Every day we see that a person without knowledge commits some criminal act and is later arrested and punished, despite the fact that he actually may not have been conscious of his sinful activity. Such ignorance prevails throughout the world. People do not consider how they are risking their lives in an attempt to have illicit sex life, kill animals to satisfy their tongue, enjoy intoxication, and gamble. It is very regrettable that the leaders of the world do not know of the effects of these sinful activities. They are instead taking things very easily and are succeeding in making the ocean of nescience wider and wider. Opposed to such ignorance, full knowledge is the greatest achievement within this material world. We can practically see that one who has sufficient knowledge is saved from many dangerous pitfalls in life. Dandavat Uma Devi.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Sorry, I didn't see the message. Just I saw the message. Timing
yes,
changed.
it just changed yesterday. So that means it will also be earlier, for Saturday sometimes. Yeah. Okay. So as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavamam prapadyante. When one actually becomes wise, he surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudevam sarvam miti sa mahatma sadurlabha. Such a great soul is very rarely to be found. This Krishna consciousness movement is determined to open wide the eyes of the so-called leaders who are full of ignorance, and thus save them from the many pitfalls and dangerous conditions of life. The greatest danger is the danger of getting a body lower than that of a human being. It was with great difficulty that we attained this human form of life just to take advantage of this body and re-establish our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda. Lord Śiva advises, however, that those who take advantage of his prayers will very soon become devotees of Lord Vasudeva, and thus will be able to cross the ocean of nescience and make life perfect. Text 76. Ya imam shradhaya yukto madgritam bhagavat stavam adhiyano durharadyam harim arhadhyatyasaso. Although rendering devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and worshiping Him are very difficult, if one vibrates or simply reads this stotra or prayer, composed and sung by me, he will very easily be able to invoke the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. It is especially significant that Lord Śiva is the pure devotee of Lord Vasudeva, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. Amongst all Vaishnavas, Lord Śiva is the topmost. Consequently, Lord Śiva has a sampradaya, a Vaishnav disciplic succession, called the Rudra Sampradaya. At the present moment, those who belong to the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya of Vaishnavas come from Rudra, Lord Śiva. To become a devotee of Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, is very, very difficult. The word especially used in this connection is Duraradyam. The worship of the demigods is not very difficult, but becoming a devotee of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, is not so easy. However, if one adheres to the principles and follows in the footsteps of the higher authorities, as advised by Lord Śiva, one can easily become a devotee of Lord Vasudeva. This is also confirmed by Prahlad Maharaj. Devotional service cannot be practiced by a mental speculator. Devotional service is a special attainment which can be acquired only by a person who has surrendered unto a pure devotee. As confirmed by Prahlad Maharaj, Mahi yasam pado rajo vishekam nishkinchananam navrinita yavat. Unless one accepts the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee, who is free from all material contamination, one cannot enter into the devotional service of the Lord. Bhagavatam 7.5.32. Text 77. Vindate purusho musmad yad yad ichat yasat varam mad gita gitats puritach trayasam eka bhalabat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the dearmost objective of all auspicious benedictions. A human being who sings this song by me can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee, being fixed in the Lord's devotional service, can acquire whatever he wants from the Supreme Lord. Purport, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 6.22, Yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadhi kaimtata. If one can attain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has nothing to aspire for, nor does he desire any other gain. When Dhruva Maharaj became perfect by austerity and saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, he was offered any kind of benediction he wanted. However, Dhruva replied that he did not want anything, for he was perfectly satisfied with the benediction of seeing the Lord. Except for the service of the Supreme Lord, whatever we want is called illusion, Maya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Jivara Svarupoi Krishnara Nityadas. Every living entity is an eternal servant of the Lord. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 20.108. Therefore, when one engages in the service of the Lord, he realizes the highest perfection of life. A faithful servant can fulfill any desire by the grace of the Master, and one who engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord has nothing to aspire for separately. All his desires are fulfilled simply by engaging constantly in the Lord's loving service. Lord Śiva shows us that any devotee can be successful simply by chanting the prayers which he has recited. Text 78. Idham ya kalya utaya pranjali shradhayan vita shrinhuyat stravayan martyo muchate karma bandhanai. A devotee who rises early in the morning and with folded hands chants these prayers sung by Lord Śiva and gives facility to others to hear them certainly becomes free from all bondage to fruitive activities. Purport. Mukti or liberation means becoming free from the results of fruitive activities. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.10.6, Muktir hitvanyata rupam svarupena vyavastiti. Mukti means giving up all other activities and being situated in one's constitutional position. In this conditional state, we are entangled by one fruit of activity after another. Karma bandhana means the bonds of fruitive activity. As long as one's mind is absorbed in fruitive activities, he has to manufacture plans for happiness. The Bhakti Yoga process is different for Bhakti Yoga. The Bhakti Yoga process is different. For Bhakti Yoga means acting according to the order of the Supreme Authority. When we act under the direction of the Supreme Authority, we do not become entangled by fruitive results. For instance, Arjuna fought because the Supreme Personality of Godhead wanted him to. Therefore, he was not responsible for the outcome of the fighting. As far as devotional service is concerned, even hearing and chanting is as good as acting with our body, mind, and senses. Actually, hearing and chanting are also activities of the senses. When the senses are utilized for one's own sense gratification, they entangle one in karma. But when they are used for the satisfaction of the Lord, they establish one in bhakti. Text 79.
Here is your reminder.
Gitam mayedam naradeva nandana parasya pumsha paramatmanastavam japanta ekagradi yastapo mahat charadvam ante tata apasyate pistam. My dear sons of the king, the prayers I have recited to you are meant for pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supersoul. I advise you to recite these prayers, which are as effective as great austerities. In this way, when you are mature, your life will be successful, and you will certainly achieve all your desired objectives without fail. Purport. If we persistently engage in devotional service, certainly all our desires will be fulfilled in due course of time. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th Canto, 24th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Chanting the Song Sung by Lord Śiva. And thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from chapter 25 on Wednesday. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees, Sama Bhakti Veda Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Nishingapali Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan ki jai, Sham Kund Radha Kund ki jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Devi ki jai, Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki jai, Scientific Sankirtan Yagya ki jai, Jai Princeton Bhaktivedanta Institute ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari 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 Bol, Jai Navadvip Dham Parikram ki jai, Hare Krishna, Jai Srimati Uma Devi Dasi ki jai.
श्रीपाद कृष्ण केशव प्रभु जी की जय।
Dandavad Stiri.
धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद, प्रणाम प्रभु जी।